Hey, what's up? What's going on? Welcome back to Movie Bumpers, episode 28. This episode's going to be about Halloween Ends, but before we get into that, I want to ask you all to please like and subscribe. Smash the bell so you can get notified when new episodes come out on this channel, and let's get into it. So this is it. It's all come to this. The McBride and Gordon Green take on The Shape and the whole Halloween franchise. And oh boy, it's been quite an interesting ride to say the least. This film is definitely one that I think will be misunderstood for years to come. It may resonate with some people who choose to read in between the lines. And this film was bittersweet. I can't hate on it entirely because I was entertained from start to finish, but I don't think that people are going to be willing to settle with this as the end of the Michael Myers story. I don't know if you can blame Gordon Green and McBride for trying something different and taking some very big swings here. They were handed the keys to this empire and they wanted to make some tweaks of their own, and for the most part I was on board. This has been a long journey, and I'm a huge fan of the Rough House Pictures production company, and I've even had some personal ties to them. So when I got word of David Gordon Green and Danny McBride getting escorted to a super secret pitch meeting held by the producer Jason Blum with the horror legend himself John Carpenter, I nearly shit my pants, because these worlds colliding in front of my very eyes was quite a surreal and amazing feeling, and a really exciting time to be alive. They even decided they wanted to cut out all of the Halloween sequels and just continue after the original film, and also cut out the fact that Laurie and Michael are siblings, which I also was on board for. But then again, that is a lot of movies to just disregard. We all grew up with those movies, and now that this version has ended, I've decided that it's really not all that good, and these last two films felt way too lacking in the story and acting departments. So anyways, we cut 2 years later, we get the 2018 Halloween, and it kind of blew my mind. And yeah, they had some cheesy jokes. It tried a little too hard at times, but all of the Halloween movies have like clunky dialogue, and it's part of its charm. Either way, I was totally stoked on Halloween again. At least I thought. Anyways, long story short, I'm not a huge fan of this version of Halloween anymore. Now, some things that I can say that this film has going for it, at least for me, is that it feels more like a standalone David Gordon Green film than it does a continuation of the Halloween story he had going before it. Okay, and from this point on, we're going to be spoiling the movie, so if you haven't seen it, feel free to get out of here. Okay, so sidelining Michael was a bit of an obvious choice. I saw that one coming with the all-out killing spree that Michael went on Halloween Kills, but it's kind of weird that Gordon Green and McBride went from sticking to what made the original so good, while simultaneously throwing in some of their southern charm, to making a sequel that felt more like a bad Halloween sequel that came out of the early 90s, which seemed like something they were trying to avoid in the first place, disregarding all the previous sequels and all that. It's like, did they think it would be funny or something to create their own timeline of Halloween sequels from good to bad? I don't know. It feels like they didn't really try with these last two. I mean, maybe it had something to do with Universal pushing this and Halloween Kills out for a same-day streaming contract for Peacock Plus or whatever the it's called. It really could be that. 2018 Halloween was amazing because it had that go back to theaters vibe about it. But, most people streamed this or ripped it from the internet. And it's pretty sad that Universal would do that to these guys who had a vision for this thing before the global pandemic lockdown. Right away, this film messed me up a little bit. Me being a new father, trying to find reliable childcare, this cold open to the film kind of turned my stomach. Which I guess isn't entirely a bad thing. I just didn't expect it. And right away, I was like, we're going to be following this guy around, aren't we? And we sure as did. Now, like I said earlier, I was pretty entertained. This film felt kind of fresh. It was like a new period piece horror romance film set in the 80s, and then someone would start texting, and then I'd be like, oh yeah, this is a Halloween film. What are we doing here? Ronan Campbell did a pretty good job for the most part carrying this movie. Then the romantic stuff started to happen, and it started to really drag, in my opinion. I was like, this guy's murdering people. He can't just go on some little motorcycle date right now. Like, it was so strange. So we follow Corey through his shitty life. Everyone bullies him because he literally killed a kid while babysitting, even though it was an accident. It's like, dude, you killed a kid. Like, move away or something. Start a new life, rough shit. And the story just felt like a drag, with Laurie pretty much setting her granddaughter up with this damaged guy, then stalks him because he seems a little bit off. Very out of character for Laurie. She was such a force in the first film, preparing to kill Michael at any cost, being overly protective of her family, and now she's just at peace and washed her hands of Michael after he murders your daughter. This all felt wrong. I'm feeling just very conflicted on this one. I was sticking up for this film while watching it, like arguing with myself that it was okay, like there was a purpose for all the decisions made in this conclusion, but It really felt like a waste. And I don't know how I feel about how they got rid of Michael. Like, a police escorts Lori and Allison through town. Michael remains on the hood of the car unconscious, and then they throw him into a junk grinder at a junkyard, grinding him into nothing. And it felt like a child's solution to killing Michael. So he just stopped being a supernatural being. I don't know. Ugh. It's like I'm realizing how bad it is the more I talk about it. You know, I could almost see the epiphany that some writer had in the writer's room when he was like, you know, why haven't they just tried grinding him up? Yeah, I mean, I guess that would work. All right, you know, moving on. The town honestly feels really cult-like and strange. You know, maybe there's a real reason Michael's setting out to kill all these people. You know, the evil rubs off thing was so stupid. The plot hole of Michael gaining energy when he kills someone, yet according to the homeless man, he drags people into that sewer drain all the time. So why wouldn't he have energy and be on another rampage by now? Has he changed his ways? Is he off the sauce? What the is going on here? The opening intro that was a nod to Halloween 3 Season of the Witch was pretty cool, but then again, it didn't make much sense. I mean, they kind of treated Allison like she was an idiot too. Like, she couldn't see through this guy's bullshit. Like, she's so starved for love or something. He even at one point says some shit like, I'm not your project. You can't, like, fix me up, or whatever he says. It's a classic boy shit. Like, red flags all over the place. But Allison is just so in love with him for some reason. And like I said before, Lori is just acting so out of character in this one. She went from damaged badass to hippie grandma real fast, and it didn't make any sense. In the end, this conclusion just didn't do it for me. I almost wish that they could just redo this. I think this is the best we're gonna get. I'm giving Halloween Ends a C+. I liked it enough, but I just don't think there will ever be a reason to rewatch it, let alone buy it, unless you're trying to, like, complete a collection. And I haven't really looked into how this film is done either, so we can, like, take a look here. It really doesn't seem like it's been doing too well. It's at a 5.1 on IMDb. Halloween Ends, we got like a 41% on Rotten Tomatoes. What do we got? Like a 1.8 on Google. Jeez. 45% on Metacritic. Yeah, that's about right. It's not looking good. Really kind of a bummer. I had high hopes when this series first started. Well, that's it. It's all over now. Halloween Ends. Have you seen it? Comment below and let's talk about it. Please like and subscribe, smash the bell so you can get notified when new episodes come out on this channel. And this is Movie Buffers. Thanks for watching. See you next time.